My former council chairman is sitting there, on Austin, sorry. So, but here I thought, I said I was going to retire at 50. I won my election at 51 to the House of Rep. And I thought it was retirement, so that I could do charity, because I started doing charity and I was enjoying it, putting smiles on the faces of people, young people, old people, widows. And I thought politics was going to be an extension of that. Little did I know that I was getting into trouble. And I also thought, coming from the oil and gas industry, I would go in there and I would pass the PIB like yesterday. But I've discovered on getting to Parliament that it's not something you can do alone. You get a group of people that you will talk to, that you think they are like minds. But there are too many considerations, and you have little to offer. You are a rookie, and you have ranking, I wanted to call the ranking demons. Because they are the ones that call the shots. And most of those decisions are made without you. Because, like I said, you are a fresher. So I discovered that wasn't working. And outside, I saw so many things like stop children and wards of public servants from schooling overseas. Same thing for medical. Those bills passed second reading. I can even tell you that those bills were technically killed by the civil servants working for the National Assembly. A lady walked to me once when the bill for education came up and said to me, "Zina, that my kids are about to..." We were sitting during plenary. She came and stood by me and said, "Zina, that my kids are about to enter university, that you are bringing a bill like this." I was shocked. These are people ordinarily you would think are so poor that you assist them every day. They are practically begging you for money to go home. So I thank God for the movement. That was what he wrote, Mr. Peter Obi, when I hosted the Senate President, 2007. Yeah, he was a sitting governor. He came in, he would not allow anybody to write for him. In Lagos here, he would not allow anybody to write for him. He wrote, and I checked later what he wrote there, and he said, Mr. Peter Obi. He came with one gentleman. He was dressed exactly like this. So I am excited, and Mr. Ozigbo knows the things we had planned from the time you came out and said you were going to run. Not under Labour, only under PDP. But they will sneak out someday to go hang out. That's what young people do. And they might never come back. So is that not foolishness? That money that's meant to fix the healthcare, to fix the schools, to fix the road, to fix pension, you embezzle that money and you think it's okay because you don't provide protection for you. So I believe we should all come together. It shouldn't end in a hall like this. We should go out to the rural areas. Elections are won in the rural areas. The APC candidate can very well lose in Lagos if INEC will allow it to happen, allow voting to happen. It can lose in Lagos. But what about the rural areas in the north? In my village, some few people probably have heard of Peter Obi in my village. Yes, because there's no light to watch television. Or when you don't have to move for her. They go to farm. They come back tired. There's no light. So how would they vote for Labour Party? And where is NLC in all this? And I heard you say something about they are present everywhere. Where are they? Can we trust NLC? Yes, in the oil and gas, I had Pegasus, I had Nipen. And I can tell you what Labour stands for. They will close the deal behind you and then come out and smile, but they are doing a different thing. Can we trust them? Should Mr. Peter Obi hand over a major part of the structure to NLC? So there's a whole lot of work to do, but like I said, this is a movement under PDP. And when you declare it, already calling the diaspora, some are cheering, Canada, calling people in the US to say, look, for the fact that he has mentioned it before he goes for to collect the form. I want the world to know that we can raise $1 billion. The target is to raise 40 billion, but we will shock the world when we raise $1 billion. But so many other things came up. But we're still going to. Somebody called me from Dubai yesterday to say they want to. I'm glad you say this. Yes, that's obvious. But these are people that don't know you. So this is a movement and it's beyond you. I am a card-carrying member of PDP. I won 2 elections on the platform of PDP, and I'm still a member of PDP. But I might get into trouble tomorrow, but I'm as well stayed here. I'm willing to work for this movement. Because it's gone beyond political parties or friendship or any bond. How will I put it? You're going to offend people, but we have to disrupt the space. We have been too careful about not annoying somebody, not offending somebody. And we are driving ourselves into a hole, and you can get too deep in this hole and you'll not be able to get out. So I would just want to advise. I saw the by-elections. I don't know how even with the beavers, see voided some areas and get those positions to APC. So it's something we must watch. Otherwise, they will do it again. And I think, Prof, you mentioned the 2007 election. My colleagues, National Assembly is a wonderful place because you relate with everybody in the country. Most of my colleagues in APC have told me that they will write the result and nothing will happen. They say they will write this 2023 election. They have been saying that. But I'm grateful to God for this movement. And I don't think this movement, I appreciate people like you for galvanizing it and putting some of it together, but I believe it's ordained by God. And we just will not sit down and say, God, do it. We also will have to be outstretched arm to achieve this. So we must compel INEC. We must get them to do the right thing. And then we, hopefully, prayerfully, Mr. Obi will get a young, somebody that God will also give him as the running mate, that can also probably galvanize the young people in the north. But we can say all that we are saying here today in the south, and those in the north will just pour cold water on everything you have done. So hopefully we should be able to get the young people in the north. Because right now, nobody is safe in this country. Nobody is enjoying it. But unfortunately, most of my colleagues don't even see this. And I think it's a demonic thing. When you think you can make billions, a whole lot of work to do. But like I said, this is a movement vetted by God. And I'm sure, because he's a faithful God, he will not allow this country to go down. But there are so many righteous people. How can somebody work for 35 years? 35 years, and you go home and you don't get your pension. Okay, even if your pension is paid. I had an uncle who worked in Shell, retired as a general manager, and his pension there was about 120,000 naira. Cycling of it, my own. And that was good money then. Retired, I think, in the 90s. It was good money. But 120,000 naira today will not buy you diesel in a month.
What's
in your month's
So after giving 35 years of your life, so something must be done, and we should be desperate about it. It's not a time to accommodate everybody. We must all be desperate about it and speak up. I cannot vouch for most of my colleagues because they just don't see it. They don't see it. They think I'm paranoid when I say some of these things. Some people come to me to say, we will support this bill. I give you an example of a bill I brought that passed House of Rep but didn't make it to the Senate. Age discrimination. You say somebody, companies will advertise, even the government agencies. If you are above 25, you should not bother to apply. Even the government agencies. If you are above 25, you should not bother to apply. Okay, with ASU strike, how many young people from poor homes can graduate at 25? I have a staff, the wife is a medical doctor, She said she spent 10 years in university to graduate, 10 years. Then she's working with a young girl who schooled in Sudan, spent 5 years to become a doctor in Sudan. They are said they are working together in the same place. Yes, because the parents could afford to send her to Sudan, and then she came back. And you are sitting here, due to no fault of yours, you spent 10 years to get a medical degree. So what has she done? Because she's from a poor home. So if the 99%, or if the 1% we allow the 99% to live in peace, I'm sure we will all live in peace. So I just want to urge us, so that I don't take too much time today, to say whatever we have to throw at these people, let's throw it at them. But we should have it behind our mind that we must rescue Nigeria today, not tomorrow, today. 2023, something must happen to Nigeria, and something good must happen to us, and we must not miss it in Jesus' name. Thank you very much.
There's an easy way to deal with something that Nigerians are very fond of, called protocol. Something I don't know how to do well. I don't really like doing. And so, as you know, Nigerians often say all protocols observed. I'm standing on existing protocols. I don't know if they've been established, but have they been established? I usually prefer to sit on them rather than stand on them. This protocol. But I'm really thrilled that this meeting has been convened. I am for a number of reasons. Nigeria is about to be born again. And for our country to be renewed, revitalized, and make progress, we need to see some vital signs. And one of those vital signs is a passionate, enthusiastic young people, a new generation wanting to set the course for their country. There's a nice video that has gone virtual on the internet on big men instead of big issues. If we begin to deal with the big issues and not big men, we will find that it is easier for the people to hold those who are supposed to be their servants accountable. As I said on one of the live interviews today, servants should never be more comfortable than those they serve. Have you ever seen a servant who is more comfortable than the boss, the employer? Have you seen anywhere? Only Nigerian politicians are more comfortable than the people they are supposed to serve. That is standing logic on its head. And a Ghanaian high-life musician, Ben Bracco, famously said that a country where their politicians are richer than their businessmen is a country on the brink of collapse. That sadly has been our experience. And the young people know this. They have traveled the world, if not physically, virtually on the internet. And they know what obtains elsewhere. And so as we gather this evening, the challenge is for us to be able to speak clearly to the fact that a new Nigeria is about to dawn on us. And that the big issues will decide tomorrow, not the big men and the big bank accounts. That the people who have compassion. I showed them examples in Pakistan where lawyers got on the streets and marched when their chief judge was removed unceremonially. Or ceremonious, whichever one. And I even pressured the Lagos bar to a point that a group of them founded something called LIFE, Lawyers in interested in free and fair elections a couple of years ago. I don't know how much they've made of it. Each time I see Rudy, Izani, and some of the ones that I nudged on to found life, I asked them how far are we still alive in life. But it is something we should not give up on and keep doing, because this country is so far away from its potential. We're not the person of faith that would have given up a long time ago. But I've been at this struggle next year, 50 years. And now I'm beginning to feel better. Because I was almost getting close to the brink of despair. When I see young people going to register to vote everywhere, I know that the possibilities of a new Nigeria are just before us. This country is a young country. More than 7. In this business of getting out of the way, we must not forget that it is the duty of every generation to make their shoulders available for the next generation to sit on so that they can see tomorrow more clearly. And so we have a duty, all of us, to set that course for the next generation. And one of the ways that we can do it is to ensure that we have an army of new voters. An army of voters who previously had not thought the vote was worth the trouble. But now they know. Sometimes we are very unhappy with bad governments. But there's some good that bad governments can do. They can make people suddenly aware that they need to exercise their rights and duties as citizens. So there's much to be grateful to current poor governance in Nigeria for. And I can give some very specific example. I can see Dr. Monday Ubani in some corner there. I mean, the way that they have revitalized PIDO, the section on public interest in the Bar Association is, I showed them examples in Pakistan where lawyers got on the streets and marched when their chief judge was removed unceremonially, or ceremonious, whichever one. And I even pressured the Lagos Bar to a point that a group of them founded something called LIFE, Lawyers Interested in Free and Fair Elections, a couple of years ago. I don't know how much they've made of it. Each time I see Rudy, Izani, and some of the ones that I nudged on to found life, I asked them how far are we still alive in life. But it is something we should not give up on and keep doing, because this country is so far away from its potential. We're not the person of faith that would have given up a long time ago. But I've been at this struggle next year, 50 years. And now I'm beginning to feel better. Because I was almost getting close to the brink of despair. When I see young people going to register to vote everywhere, I know that the possibilities of a new Nigeria are just before us. This country is a young country. More than 7 elections. I was a candidate for president. And as we all know, no elections took place in 2007. I've told the story of discussing with the foreign observers, former Canadian Prime Minister, former US Secretary of State, and all of those people after the elections. And they were so perplexed by the abracadabra of that election. And we gathered the presidential candidates of the day to address the world. I almost felt like the man on the cross to his left and to his right. To my left was Waziri Atiku Abubakar. To my right was General Muhammad Buhari, and I was his spokesperson in those protest moments. After that, I thought, no, this is not democracy. I'm not interested in participating any further. Until this man came, sent by Chivenauru to find me. And the process was Chivenauru trying to build a movement of progressive forces. That movement is another long story. I've got just written one book. I'm going to write 2 or 3 more on these experiences. Eventually it resulted in what was called the Social Democratic Mega Movement and Party. The rest of the story I will tell today. I was very pleased because in many ways it symbolizes this struggle for emancipation of our country. Unfortunately, the incident of last Sunday, not this yesterday, Sunday before yesterday, resulted in circumstances that made his being able to participate in such an event challenging. And so he had requested that I stand in for him as chair of this evening's activity. So I want to pay tribute to him and say that it was an honor to hear that he wanted me to stand in for him. I want to welcome you and say to you that today the message is simple. If you can dream it, you can make it happen. We dream of a born-again, a new Nigeria, with the leadership of people who care about the people, who want to transform the lives of our young people and give them a future they desire, which they deserve. And I'm glad that I'm part of that effort. Let us find 40 million new voters and set a new course for our country, because that great Nigeria is possible. I have seen it happen elsewhere. As despair set in, I watch Brazil regain itself. Nigeria will rise up.
Thank you very much, sir. Nigeria will certainly rise up again.